All right, today I am checking out Dixon Dedman's new project, 2XO. This is Dixon Dedman, who started and sold the Kentucky Owl brand. Long history in Kentucky hospitality. Family runs and owns the Beaumont Inn. And now he is back. I guess it was a relatively short non-compete with 2 times oak is what it stands for. So these are small batch, artisanal blends of Kentucky straight bourbon. So the idea here is the real artistry is in the blending of these whiskeys for this first blend, and they're all going to have different names. So this first blend is the Phoenix blend, obviously somewhat symbolic of him coming back into the bourbon industry with this new project. No age statements, not tons of detail. But essentially this first blend is a moderate rye Kentucky straight bourbon and a high rye Kentucky straight bourbon. So I'm sure from wherever they're sourcing, they probably have non-disclosure agreements, but I know, via his Kentucky Owl project, he was able to access some really fantastic whiskeys and had a great reputation. So I'm sure this is no different, but I want to dig right into this and see what we've got. So it's hard to say with bourbon, with blends of straight bourbon whiskey, because there aren't many, I should say, that are marketed as such. So it's hard to say, well, this is a good blend or this is a bad blend. With actual blended whiskey, I think you can make those judgment calls because there is sort of a style, and styles can be different. But as far as like blending straight bourbon goes, whether it's different mash bills or different proofs, different ages, it's hard to know what to actually judge this up against. But 104 proof, right on the nose, really nice vanilla bean. There's baking spice. There's a nice soft caramel note, toffee note as well. Sort of a caramel syrup on ice cream is what I'm picking up here. It's a nice sort of confectionery sweet aroma. It's right up my alley. All right, let's take a sip. Bold red fruit. That kind of dusty oak emerging, reminiscent of like Woodford double oak. That's got a really nice solid spice on the mid-palate. That's a nice combination, I think, from the high-rye, but then also with that second dose of oak. There's a really sort of playful kind of woodsiness to it. Yeah, sweet on the nose, and then it's all spice and oak driven on the palate. Let's try one more sip. Some nice, like very traditional Kentucky bourbon flavor in there. And by that, I mean, to me, a nice traditional Kentucky bourbon has a really nice drying spice to it. It's not overly sweet. When I think of a sweeter style bourbon, I think of the MGPs and that Indiana style that tends to stay sweet on the palate, whereas Kentucky bourbon to me just typically has a little bit more of that traditional spice, whether that's wood or the mash bill, and this definitely has it. So it goes from sweet on the nose to mid-palate spice to like longer sort of baking spice all the way through to the finish. It's an elegant whiskey. At 104 proof, would be very drinkable on a big rock. It'd be great in a cocktail, but I think this is one that sipping neat is going to yield the best result, but you drink it however you like. All right, so that is the new Dixon Dedman 2 times oak Phoenix blend. First time looking at tasting and reviewing this whiskey. So there you go. Cheers.